everyone, welcome to 5 More Minutes, the show where 3 friends relive their childhoods, or in some cases, learn about everything they missed out on. I'm Kendra.
And I'm Scott. And like Kendra alluded to, we have a special week this week because my sister, our celebrity guest and #1 fan of the podcast, is here to do a guest spot and teach us about something this week.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm so excited. I'm living out my dream today, I must say.
Wow.
Wow, you need to get
guys
off your
sound
dreams.
like so famous.
Yeah.
But yeah, I listen to
#1
you guys all the
podcast.
time,
We have
so.
5 followers.
Yeah. Well, we have more than 5 followers, but our downloads have been at a static 10 the past 6 weeks. So
Nice.
they were averaging around 20 and they dropped. So
I guess for everyone just listening, it is my sister Jacki.
Yay!
yay!
Yeah. Woo! But I was going to say, for my Spotify Wrapped for 2021, you guys were my most listened podcast because you're the only podcast I listen to. But I did get a cool little animation with your guys' little thing on it because I do listen to you guys almost every Saturday. So yeah, I'm very excited to be here. I've learned a lot about video games that I didn't know about, and Metal Gear Solid recently. That was a lot. And Paperboy.
It was a lot.
Didn't know what Paperboy was. Learned that. So
that's like my one thing.
Paperboy.
Yeah.
Didn't you have that one random ATV game that you played all the time?
Yeah, ATV Off-Road Fury 2.
There you go.
I don't think that would be exciting to talk about though. So
there's probably not a whole lot there, I guess.
Yeah. We could recreate it in real life.
Yeah. So I guess also for people that are just listening, this is coming out, as Kendra would like to say, on the 23rd of Christmas, aka 23rd of December. So right before Christmas. So we're being festive today.
Christmas Eve.
I'm standing by that. There are 23 days of Christmas or whatever.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like the song or whatever.
To segue into another off topic, there was one doggy advent calendar at Target, and I really wanted to buy it, but then I was like, she's gonna have to eat all these treats in 3 days, so I didn't.
Yeah,
and I'm kind of sad.
The deadline to get an advent calendar is pretty past, I think.
Yeah, they had some cool ones. They had friend socks and stuff. I was like,
dang.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard of the Chanel advent calendar that has been causing waves online? So apparently it's from Chanel, so it's gonna be expensive, but it was $825. And
wow.
Yeah, and every day it's supposed to be a lipstick or perfume or whatever, but some girl on TikTok or something got it, and some of them were just stickers, little and temporary tattoos. So then anyway, that was a big thing because they're this is Chanel. I paid $825 for last. And anyway,
holy crap.
Who got that money? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a different level. 2 years ago, I did a German beer advent calendar. So I had 1 pint of German beer a day in December, which kind of makes you feel terrible some days, but it was pretty good.
You could have just saved 5 of them for Saturday.
Yeah, I guess so. But they're all super heavy, and they're not really hey, I'm going to drink a whole bunch of these. It's really just drink one and be like,
that's true. Good. It's pumping the iron,
yeah. Going for maxes, I suppose.
Yeah.
As one does.
Oh, yeah.
Gold.
Yeah. So Jacki has also contributed because she is the one who drew the clip art for the podcast. So she mentioned, if you've seen it anywhere you download, she's the one who created that.
And we've plugged her half the episode. So if you don't listen until the end, you're missing out.
Yeah,
that's true.
I get very excited when people I know are mentioned, which I mean, pretty much everyone you guys mentioned, I know of, because we're a little tight friend group. But I did put that on my resume when I start applying to jobs. Hopefully no one from my work listens to this, but
besides Merle, maybe.
Yeah, if Merle listens to this, shout out.
I have been calling Merle out the past 3 episodes, but that's fine.
I have and we listened to you guys on the way to Thanksgiving. I know I told you guys this in real life, but for the listeners, we were listening to the Mario episode when we were driving through the pass.
Mm-hmm.
So
Very nice. What day are you coming home?
Christmas Eve.
Yeah, the day
so
this comes
you can
out.
listen to this and listen to yourself in the car.
I don't think I'm gonna do that.
It's not that bad. I listened to the first like 20 to 30 minutes of each episode just to make sure everything turned out okay.
I can't, if I was driving by myself, but Merle's gonna be in the car, so I don't want to like, hey, you want to listen to me while I'm driving?
You want to listen to
Aren't
me?
you obsessed with me?
I made Nisa listen to part of an episode the weekend we went to Pullman because I was like, I haven't listened to this yet. I need to make sure it sounds good. And it was definitely more awkward with someone else in the car.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I'm talking right now to you and also listening to myself talk.
Yeah. You're like, let me turn down the audio of me so I can speak in real time.
Do you have enough me yet?
The answer is always no.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dang. So yeah, what else? We've got Friends Christmas coming up, so we're kind of excited for that. After Jacki gets back into town at her parents' place, we're gonna meet up, do a Friends Christmas.
Kendra is very excited for the Friends Christmas.
Oh yeah.
So Kendra must have some plans.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
No, I'm excited. I actually, so not that anyone would know this, but Christmas is also my birthday. And I saw this
Scott acts surprised.
Yeah,
what?
But I saw this meme on Facebook, which makes me feel like a Facebook mom. But it was like one of the I don't know, 3 wise men or something giving something to Jesus, and he's like, "Oh, remember, this is for Christmas and your birthday." And I was like, "Girl, I've been there."
You are every Jesus Christmas meme.
Yeah, I'm so glad for that.
But we're excited. That's why I picked this, except I'm blocking the words.
Yeah, it just looks like sit back there.
Excited.
But
yeah.
We're excited.
Mm-hmm.
We're so excited. But no, I'm feeling this now, so I'm gonna change it.
You should just have that
chill.
Dune thing saved. How you Dune.
I do have it saved.
Christmas hats on it. Oh, that'd be so fun.
That would be pretty fun. Wow, how fluid. You just switch right over to it.
You still have the Jim Carrey one on there too?
Those ones didn't save for some reason. Yeah.
Dang. Nothing says Christmas like Jim Carrey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ooh, that looks scary and dark.
Oh, Call of Duty. Yep.
Yeah.
We got a little bit of everything around here. We're going to be kind of all
yeah.
over this episode, probably.
Yeah. I have to keep remembering that a podcast is not like a visual medium. Like, yes, this might be a video somewhere, but I keep being like, oh, you guys, look at this. Look what's on Kendra's screen. So you can't see it.
Yeah, I mean, for those that do listen, probably know, but we have to show each other slides and pictures because usually at least one of us doesn't know what the heck we're talking about.
Usually me.
Usually Kendra. Usually I have to show her pictures, like Metal Gear Solid. There was all the pictures. Oh, nice. Now we got to.
Nothing says Christmas like Jim Carrey.
Yeah, it's the white devil. White devil.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. I wish I remembered how to say that in the other language.
Bumblebee tuna? No.
Bumblebee tuna? It's like Iques Wocha or something like that. Good times.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do you guys want to just like jump in or?
Yeah.
What are we feeling?
We're feeling the vibe.
Okay.
The holiday vibe.
So yeah, like we said, Jacki's actually going to teach us something this week, and I'm pretty sure it's something Kendra knows absolutely nothing about.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
And I have a more base understanding because I've been in it a little bit, but I'll pass it over to Jacki to kind of walk us through.
All right, everybody. So I'm going to be talking about my favorite. It's my favorite anime, but it's also probably in my top 3 favorite shows. But it's Hunter x Hunter. Oh, look at that background. You guys can't see it, but it's so cute. It's little
It's right there.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is. I just Googled the show and put Christmas at the end.
Wow. Quality.
Okay. But I'm in the Christmas mood now that Kendra has that up. So it's Hunter x Hunter. And so since this is my first time on the podcast, first time doing this, I was like, is it actually Hunter x Hunter or is it Hunter x Hunter? And I watched a YouTube video and they said it was Hunter x Hunter. So I'm just going to say that. And I'm probably going to mispronounce some characters' names because that's how I say them in my brain. So if there's any diehard fans out there, not of Die Hard the show, but diehard Hunter x Hunter, then I'm sorry if I get anything wrong.
And I just had a student tell me that I should watch this. So
yes. So this is the main goal is to get Kendra to watch at least 5 episodes, I would say.
And the other 30
5 episodes is a pretty lofty goal. With
hey, I'm on
Kendra.
like episode 12 or 13 of Demon Slayer.
Yeah, but you're watching that like with somebody.
No, I'm not.
Well,
not
look at
anymore.
you. I'm proud of you. Okay.
Mm.
So if you guys want to start the slideshow,
Oh, yeah.
the first slide.
We're ready.
We are on it.
Okay. So, all right. So, I might have a different, style to saying things. I guess like I'm nervous, you guys. We'll just get into it. Okay. So,
right.
so Hunter x Hunter is so I've watched it as a 2011 anime adaptation of it, but there's also a 1999 version of it, and we'll get into that later. But basically, it was first written by I don't know if I wrote his name down. Oh no, I'm already messing up. I thought I
Oh no.
Oh no. Might have to cut all this out, Kendra.
Hold on, putting it on. Okay, guest spot. It is Yoshihiro Togashi.
Yay. Okay, perfect.
Yoshihiro Togashi.
Yoshihiro.
Yoshihiro.
Yoshi's a hero.
Yeah, so
Yoshihiro.
Like Yoshi from Mario Hero.
Yeah.
Togashi.
Yeah. Togashi.
Yoshihiro Togashi.
There you go.
That one's easy. Okay.
Yeah. So it was first issued in is it Shonen Jump? That's what it's called? Shonen Jump.
Yes.
Not Shonen Jump. It's kind of confusing. In Shonen Jump in 1998. And they started making a series for it in 1999, which I learned today. And that was kind of surprising because, that's only a year after it was like started being published, and they already like hopped on trying to make it into an anime.
Yeah.
So I was
there probably wasn't that many made yet.
No. So I think they only got up to a couple arcs and then they had to stop. And then they tried to do the thing of Kendra might not know this, but the classic anime thing of like, let's make a bunch of fillers and like, whatever. So they kind of stopped it because they didn't want to do that, but then they ended up making some like random like OVAs and stuff like that, trying to catch up, but it just kind of was like puttering out and it wasn't working. So, but anyway, so Yoshihiro Higashi. A fun fact about him is his wife is actually the author of Sailor Moon. Isn't that cool? I think that's pretty neat. And he one of his
The toe guy?
The toe guy. What?
Yoshihiro?
Yes.
Togashi.
The author.
Nice.
He's not the toe guy. The toe guy. But yeah, and you guys can go to the next slide, and I have some little pictures of the gentleman who is the toe guy, and you'll see some sweet 1990 fashion there.
Dude.
But so
hey, that one has a Sailor Moon doll.
Yeah. So that's kind of why I put those two in the middle. So there's been a lot of references between Sailor Moon and Hunter x Hunter because of their marriage. So there's like little like Easter eggs and stuff. So I thought that was kind of fun to put in there.
We love Easter eggs. Did you see our Easter egg?
No. In what episode? What are you talking about?
It was on the YouTube.
Yeah.
Wow.
I texted the group chat. You have to go to minute 40. It's the whole thing. We'll tell you about it later.
Okay. All right. I have like kind of wanted it every time you send a YouTube link to send that one video. The video, the one involving the Prince of Egypt.
Oh no.
But then I would have to keep a tab open for that. Anyway.
That's true.
You could just save it in your notes.
That's okay. But anyone listening out there, you guys should YouTube Stacy's dad. You can get that out.
Yeah.
That's great. I watched the whole thing and sent it to people.
Good.
Nope, not cutting it out. You go watch it right now.
Yeah. Pause this video or pause this podcast and go watch that.
Yeah, pause it and go watch it. We'll wait.
Yeah, we'll wait and come back. Okay, we're getting off. I'm already all right. I can do this. Okay, so Togashi. So the manga has been on hiatus currently as of right now for 3 years. So that's kind of a long time. And it's kind of been nicknamed by the fan base like hiatus instead of Hunter x Hunter because like such long. But it's because he has like lower back pains, and I think I heard like tendinitis too. Anyway, hopefully he takes care of himself, because there's kind of been like rumors of him teaching his wife kind of how to do his like manga style in case he couldn't like finish Hunter x Hunter, which would be absolutely tragic. I mean, who knows, but very sad. So we hope that he is going to be well in his future, because I was watching a video and he was being compared to the guy that wrote Berserk, and we know that he passed recently, so that kind of made me a little sad. But yeah, so let's get into the story, because facts are obviously not my strong point, even though I thought I was all prepared. I have a notebook.
You're so ready. Just before you move on, man, I don't know what picture you searched to find them when they're on this like chain link fence like this, but that is some quality outfits they have on right there. I must say.
You know how I told you we should take a podcast photo? We should pose like that.
Okay, I'm in, man.
Yeah. Also, Jackie, you might need to take pictures on my camera.
What do you mean?
Oh, true.
Yeah, like
she wants to take podcast photos, so you might get recruited.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, for this. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. Scott's supposed to wait. Did I? We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
I got out of my own slideshow. I have to.
How dare you?
I know. Oh, no. Okay. I did it. But yeah, the 90s, it was rough. There's some other 90s pictures in the slideshow, but none of them are as like intense as that picture, I must say. Okay, I'm back on track. All right, we can do this. So you guys,
the 90s were rough.
The next one after the 90s one, it should just be some characters.
Ooh, next slide.
All right, so let's go into the synopsis of this whole show. So basically it is about a young boy named Gon, and he is the main character, and he's the
his name is what?
Gon. It's Gon.
Okay.
Yep.
But I think that's kind of what I was talking about, like with the pronunciations. Like I call him Gon, but I think it's like really like Gon. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But so yeah, don't hate me out there for if I say his name wrong. I call him
Gon.
Yeah, he's gone. He's gone. But he's like such a cute little character. He's like one of my favorites. He's so adorable. I think he's only like 12 when the whole series starts. So basically he lives on Whale Island, and he's kind of one of the only kids that lives on this island. And he wants to find his father because he lives with his aunt and his grandma, and he doesn't know like hardly anything about his dad. He just wants to like meet him one day. And his Aunt Mito. Did I say that it was his aunt? I did, right?
Yes, you did.
I'm already getting all sidetracked.
You're on it.
It's like his mother figure, but it's his aunt. So she makes a deal with him that's like, if you can catch this huge fish at Whale Island, then I will allow you to take the hunter exam. And I feel like the fish has this like name, but I don't remember what it is. But it's really hard to catch this fish, and then he catches the fish, and he has like a little fishing pole all the time to like fight with. So that's like his whole thing. He's a little fishing little nature boy. So yeah. So the hunter exam. So let's see how to describe this. So you blah, blah, blah. And anytime, Scott, you can step in because you've seen this.
So just a quick summary, and you can maybe roll with it afterwards. But the way to think of a hunter's exam is they basically get a whole pool of people, and this world has a profession called hunters, and they are like very well paid because they are like extreme specialists in their field. So there's like different kind of hunters. There's like chefs, there's like archaeologists.
But why are they called hunters?
That's just like they have a hunter's license is basically. So they're under this umbrella. They're all hunters, but they're like number one in their field, basically. And so at the exam, you go through these different tests and trials at each one, and they kind of weed you out, basically. It's almost like the Squid Game of Hunter x Hunter, but, you know, sometimes you're not necessarily getting killed. You're just like, okay, you're out. You can't be a hunter. Because there's lots of people that are noted to have taken the exam many times and failed.
Yeah. So basically, if you can get through this whole exam, you get a hunter's license, and then you can kind of you have like access to a lot more than what you would like normally have. Like I think you can like ride public transportation like for free and stuff like that. Like you can do a lot more with the hunter license. It's very valuable. And I think if you like sold it, you would basically be like set up money wise for life. But like no one ever does because it's like so valuable. So it's really, really hard to get it. And this little 12-year-old is like, I want to go get it because I want to be able to find my dad eventually. So that's kind of his.
Wish I could do that with my hunter's license.
What hunter's license?
Yeah, Kendra just has to go shoot a deer is all she gets to do with it.
But yeah, so that's kind of his little, what is it called? Call to action, I guess.
Mhm.
Something
Yep.
English term. So yeah, so he is going to go off and do this, and his aunt is letting him do it, but whatever. She kind of tried to stop him, but he's very set in his ways. And on his way to the exam site, he runs into two more characters, Leorio and Kurapika again. I think it's like Kurapika in certain like other iterations, but on the slideshow, that's the guy with the little Oreo glasses. That's how you can remember his name. Oreo.
Oh, there you go.
Oreo.
Kendra likes those devices.
Yeah.
The old guy?
He's not old.
He's not old.
Yeah, well, he's actually 19.
The guy in the suit?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, but so
And what's his name, Kendra?
Yeah.
Leorio.
Yeah.
There you go.
Like
Think
a
of
fancy cookie.
French Oreo.
Yeah.
I have some right
Perfect.
here. French Oreos.
Le Oreos.
Oreo. And then Kurapika is the blonde one with the kind
Kurapika?
Yeah, Kurapika. Kurapika. So he kind of runs into these two guys, and kind of like getting to the exam site even is like a test. Like they have to ride on a ship to get there, and then a bunch of the people on the ship like get sick, and then some like random old sailor guys like, oh, that was part of the test and they failed and you guys didn't even know you were like part of the exam already, and they're like, oh my gosh, this is so crazy.
Wow.
But yeah, it's crazy. But I'm gonna kind of like gloss over like, you know, certain parts. I know that you guys kind of go into more detail on your episodes, but there's just so much Hunter x Hunter, so I figured
Yeah.
but anyway, so kind of going briefly into these other characters like backstories of kind of like why they want to be hunters as well. So Leorio, he had like what was it? He had an old friend that passed away from a very curable disease because he was like really poor. So he wants to become he wants to get his license so then he can kind of provide free healthcare to other like poor people. So he has like good intentions. You look confused, Kendra.
That's just my face.
He's going to become a traveling doctor. He wants to treat people.
I think I'm just
have the resources
hung up
to do
on the
that.
fact that all the hunters are different professions.
You can do whatever you want.
But you
Yeah.
have to pass all the prestigious tests to become a hunter.
Well, I mean, for example, you could be a doctor if you have the resources to do it on your own, but he doesn't, and he wants to be able to like utilize this world's networks, money, so he can do what he wants, go research. Basically, if he gets a hunter's license, he gets to like do whatever he wants in the medical field. He's not like shoehorned.
Yeah. But the once we get to the exams, it is kind of, so I haven't seen Squid Games, but it is kind of like a survivalish kind of game. It's not like practice your doctoring right now because I know you want to be a doctor. It's just like if you can get to the end, you can be whatever kind of hunter you want. Basically, be the best you can be. But yeah, so that's kind of his like, that's why he's there, is he wants to I think he even says in the show or in the manga or whatever that he has like tried to, go into like college and stuff, but he's like, I have like no money or something like that. He's like, this is the only way I see that I can reasonably get to my goal. And then Kurapika, so he has a very classic like backstory, I guess. His whole like family was like murdered, so he's trying to find the people who murdered his family, and the people that murdered his family like took all of the eyeballs of his family members because they're like a very valuable item. Are you still with me, Kendra?
Okay, that's kind of weird, but all right.
So the reason that the eyes are so valuable is so he's from the Kurta clan, that's like his family, or whatever, and when they get like, they have a heightened emotion, their eyes glow red, and it's like considered one of the most like one of the 7 most beautiful colors in the world or something, I think. So that's why they're really valuable. That's why their eyes got like scalped or whatever.
So if you kill them while they're at a heightened emotion, as you probably would be if you were being murdered, they maintain their red after they die.
Yeah. So it's like a black market item kind of situation. So he wants to like find the people who killed his family, and he also wants to like get all those eyeballs back, because it's kind of like that's like the remains of my family. And fun fact, I'm pretty sure this is a fact, but his backstory actually inspired Sasuke's backstory from Naruto.
That would make sense.
Do you know who Sasuke is, Kendra? Do you know of this man?
Well, we did cover Naruto. No, we didn't.
Yeah,
we didn't.
Like I missed that up.
Because I would have covered it, and no,
did we talk about it once? I watched it like the first episode. I thought. Are you sure we didn't cover it?
We didn't cover it. We watched one of the episodes while you were over here visiting, just to show you what's up.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know. I think that's very interesting that he was modeled after Kurapika, because Kurapika is a pretty like calm character, but Sasuke is a little. I don't know if you guys can curse in this podcast, but I do not like him.
Oh yeah. Oh, we can curse.
Oh, we can curse. All right. So yeah, that's everybody's like backstories or whatever. So they're on this boat. They're going to the exam site. And once they're at the exam site, they meet Killua, which is the on the slide. He's the little white-haired fella. But yeah, so that's that guy. And
they even have numbers like in Squid Game.
Kinda, yeah.
I guess I need to watch Squid Games so I know all these references. But yes, they do have numbers. So I think so like once they get to the exam site, and again, there's like other little like things they have to get to before they get to the actual place. They have to like run. So I actually watched this episode last night when we were like all on Discord. They have to run for like 4 hours straight without knowing like what's at the end or like how much longer they have.
How does this help someone be a better doctor?
It's not just doctor.
It's to get the hunter's license.
Yeah.
I know, it just seems weird.
You gotta endure all this, I guess, to yeah.
We ain't even got to the weird part.
Yeah, this is just scratching the surface.
All right.
But yeah, and that is something that Leorio does say during the running part. He's like, man, I underestimated this. And I'm like, it's like the easiest like part or whatever. And he's like, oh, I can't even like run. And I'm like, come on, dude. But yeah, so he wants to be a doctor. Gon wants to find his dad. Kurapika wants to find his family killers or whatever. So they all have different goals. But Leorio's is like the most like normal, I guess, least bloodshed.
Yeah, like real world normal.
Yeah, career path. And then Killua, he is just there because he was bored that day, kind of thing. He's just like, I just felt like doing this. So I mean, we'll get into him more, but that's his reasoning. And him and Gon become friends really quickly. They're so cute. They're both like the same age. And I think I kind of mentioned that earlier. Like Gon is like one of the only kids on his island. And then we learn that Killua is from a family of assassins. So he hasn't had friends growing up because his family's messed up. So yeah.
Very.
So yeah, so they're running, and then so you can go to the next slide, and we got some winners on this next slide. We have some more characters.
Got some more characters.
Yeah. So here are some. So basically, they're all like running with. I don't even know how many people are in like the exam at this point. But I mean, like Gon is like number 400 something. So there's at least 400 people like running through this like tunnel, and we see these the two guys on the left. The guy with
voodoo doll and pink hair guy.
Yeah. So, you know, they don't talk to them or anything, but they are known to be kind of like freaky and like, you know, they're kind of like stay away from those guys because they're kind of but the guy with the pink hair, his name is Hisoka, and people are they kind of know of him, and they're like, oh, he's Hisoka the magician, like kind of watch out for him because he's like dangerous. And then the other guy, I think his name is like get the cracker. But he doesn't talk or anything. He just like shakes around and he's kind of like creepy. But they're like, stay away. But anyway, creepy guys. But yes. So one of my favorite like little mini arcs of the exam. So there's like one part of the exam where they have to like cook an egg for this like she's a gourmet hunter. So she like I feel like I'm not making like a ton of sense. But so in the exam, there's like little parts. So there's the part where they have to run. And then, people get lost in that because they're like, I'm tired, I can't make it. So
how do you train for this?
You just gotta know everything.
You just kind of can't, isn't it? It's different every year too. So it's not like you can just know.
Yeah. So each section of the exam is kind of like manned by a different like already hunter, like they're already have their license or whatever. So like I think the second one, because I think I watched that part last night, is she's a gourmet hunter. So she like travels the world to find really rare ingredients to make really amazing food. So that's kind of her whole like thing. So she's like, you have to cook me like a perfect meal out of like this really dangerous kind of like pig that you have to like hunt. So you have to hunt down this pig, you have to cook this pig, and then you have to create it in such a way that I deem you to go on to the next round. So you just kind of have to be good at everything. And again, this is like, Gone is like 12. So I would definitely be, I wouldn't have made it this far at all, but I'd be like, really like, no.
How do I cook this?
Yeah. But yeah, I think that like, not that it's super important, but she's like really picky, and then there's that like whole weird thing where it's like, no, you can't. No, I'm what's it called? Failing everybody. And then anyway, so there's little like pieces of each little exam thing to the whole thing. But one of the more intense ones, I think, is they each have their little numbers or whatever, and they're like, okay, you have to all be on this little island. It's kind of like Hunger Games-esque, I think, but you like have to let's see. You get the number of somebody else, and you have to like find that person and get their badge, basically. And you can kill them, or you can like, incapacitate them. Is that a word, right? Basically, you just have to get their name tag to like move on. And if you get like other people's, then that is like an added point or whatever. So everybody kind of like draws their number, and then the main little boy Gone gets the creepy magician guy. So he's kind of like I don't know if I could do this, man. But yeah, so then they all have to kind of like break up and hunt each other, if you will.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's all crazy. But yeah, so if you want to go to the next slide, it's kind of not really related, but here's some pictures of the 90s version.
Oh yeah, some old versus new.
Yeah. But yeah, and yeah, so we're going through the okay, I'm just gonna skip to the like final tournament thing because that part is kind of clear in my mind. So at this point, I don't remember how many like people are there right now, but there's not a lot. And they're just kind of like, we're just going to do a classic old tournament, like Dragon Ball Z style. And then I think the only rule is like, you can't like kill each other or whatever. Like you have to like knock each other out, but you can't kill each other. Let's see. Maybe I should refer to my notes. La, 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 la.
I guess one thing I can add while you're referring to your notes is they make a pretty big deal about getting Hisoka's badge because, he is the magician. He's some crazy dude. And I believe, if my memory serves, Gon basically sits in a bush for like hours on end and waits for Hisoka to come by. And then he uses his fishing pole to whoosh, and like Indiana Jones style rip it off of Hisoka's outfit and then basically run away. And Hisoka is like, oh my God. And he like loses his mind. He's like, so elegant. Someone can use a fishing pole as a weapon. And this begins his little infatuation with our boy.
Yeah. So yeah, Hisoka is definitely like known to be a creepy character. Like he's definitely a bad guy, but there are like moments throughout the series where he kind of like helps out the main guys, where he's like, I'll help you, but just so I can like maybe kill you one day. It's kind of that situation.
If anyone's gonna kill you, it's gonna be me.
Yeah. But yeah, and I think that's something kind of, I don't know, Scott, if you've seen the old version, the 90s version, but I remember
I haven't.
Like that instance of the 90s version is a lot creepier. Like I don't know, I feel like you feel a lot more like desperation, and you're just more like, oh, this poor little like 12-year-old, like, because he like has like a little breakdown. He's like, I don't know if I can do this, and I'm like, I don't know if you can either. I mean, I know you're the main character, but I'm worried for you.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that made me want to sing Desperado.
Go ahead. You haven't sang once this whole episode.
I didn't want to interrupt you because you're the guest.
You can interrupt me all. I feel like I'm the only one talking here. So I'm
Well,
just
you
like,
said desperation, and in my head, I was like, desperado. You know?
Yeah.
Why don't
Yep.
I was thinking of the
come
Rihanna.
to
Isn't there a
your
Rihanna song
senses?
called Desperado too?
I don't know. I was thinking of the Eagles, you know?
Desperado.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Desperado.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Wow. Let's see. But yeah, again, I'm kind of like glossing over things, but that whole him getting Hisoka's badge, that is a big deal because like later on in a different arc, I think like once he gets the badge, I don't remember exactly what happens, but remember like Hisoka's kind of like smacks him and he's like, give me my badge back, or what is it? I don't remember, but basically he's like, one day, like, find me again when you think you can like land a punch on me, kind of thing. But right now you're just kind of meh. So bye boy.
And I think doesn't Hisoka take his own badge back, but he gives Gon other badges, like, so you can move on in the competition, but you're not taking mine. Basically.
Or something like that, because he has some kind of thing that he gives them later, like in a future tournament moment. But yeah. So let's see. I wonder if I should talk about Get a Cracker or if I should like wait for that moment later, because I kind of put that other picture on there. So I didn't think about this. You guys don't even know how
we're just going with it.
Use an iPad with PowerPoint, because it keeps like not letting me exit, and then I have to click through the whole thing, and yeah, it's kind of difficult. Okay, we're on the slide with the 90s. I just include those because I think it's kind of cute how tiny Gon was in the 90s version. Like, how short he is.
His hair was so much smaller then too.
Yeah, small hair. But yeah, so everyone is like in the final tournament basically. Like all of the main four made it, and Hisoka made it, and some other like random people that, you know, they're just there. But a lot of people have died. Like, I guess I should, you know, iterate that people are dying, and
I thought that they weren't supposed to kill people.
Oh, that's at the tournament that I kind of haven't gotten to yet. So far, you can kill people.
Like, but like during the badge stealing, they were like murdering and stuff.
Like I know Hisoka kills like at least 2 people, I think. So he's just out there.
Sounds like really does kind of sound like the Hunger Games.
Kind of is, yeah. It's pretty
much
pretty freaky. But yeah, so you can kill people right now, and so they all make it, even Leorio with his little, I think he has like a knife, and he's like carrying a briefcase around the whole time. Like, I don't know why he freaking wore a suit to this whole event, because it doesn't go well. But yeah, so the final thing standing between them and getting their license is this last tournament that I kind of started talking about. So in this tournament, you can't kill each other. So anyway, and they, you know, set it all up or whatever. And I think like the first, what's it called? The first battle is between Gon and this guy named Hanzo, I think. He's just like some random guy. And you can click to the next slide, but it's more 90s pictures, so they're not really important. But I just want,
dude, Leorio looking kind of jacked in the 90s.
Bad in the wow. But that is,
and Kurapika, boy, he looks a little more grungy in that 90s version too.
They definitely yassified them for the 2011 version. But yeah, so you can see how buff Leorio was supposed to be.
So much muscle.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so you can go to the next slide, because that we're going to kind of talk about the tournament events. So you can kind of see in the middle picture, that's
he's getting a spanking.
He's getting, I don't know. That's a very like
I think he's hitting him in the back of the neck, not his ass.
It's a spanking. Look at the trajectory of where his hand is gonna smack down. It's like a golf.
I think that's after.
It's like a golf swing.
That's the pullback. He already hit him.
He's gearing up for a booty
I
smacking.
was kind of worried when I got that picture. I was like, Kendra's gonna say something about this.
I'm not predictable. Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
But so he's fighting this little 12-year-old or whatever, and he keeps saying like, you should just give up. You should just give up. Like, I'm obviously like, I think he like breaks his arm at one point, but he's like, no, I'm not giving up. Like, because I mean,
never gonna give you up.
Yeah, never gonna let you down.
Your turn, Scott.
Never gonna run around and desert you.
Yeah.
All right, continue.
All right, we made it.
But no, I lost my train of thought.
That happens a lot.
It's mostly my fault.
I mean, I'm glad
Par
you're
for the course.
interjecting instead of I'm just like I feel like I'm out here fighting for my life. So basically he needs Gon to surrender so he can like move on. You know, he's like, I need to surrender or knock him out. I can't kill him, but I also don't, you know, like I don't want to like kill, super hurt. He's like a 12-year-old. Like at this point, pretty much anyone who meets Gon kind of like likes him because he's just so darn lovable. So, you know, and everyone on the sidelines is kind of like, you know, as this guy's having to beat up this little kid, they're like,
how dare you?
Yeah. So, and that's why I put that picture of Leorio because he's like, you know, he's getting mad that someone's beating his little son figure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he keeps saying, I'm not gonna like give up. And then I think he ends up knocking Gon out. So then Gon is kind of like taken out of commission for this. So while Gon is passed out though, so that Get a Cracker guy, the voodoo doll guy, he goes up against Killua, and it turns out that he is his older brother in disguise. Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
So
the plot thickens.
It does. So he did look like the voodoo guy or whatever, but then he takes these like needles out of his face, and then he turns into this guy with the black hair that you can kind of see. Talking to the kid with the white hair.
Yeah, and his big deal is like acupuncture to make disguises and stuff.
Yeah.
He's like some kind of shape-shifting type deal.
Yeah. He uses like needles for a lot of things. So he's part of the assassin family. I don't know if you remember what I was saying, like Killua was like a family of assassins. So he's an assassin too. And he is basically there because he's like, I need to bring you back home. Cause he was like, I think that was what happened. So he was like, I was bored at home is what he tells like the main characters, but really he like slashed his like mom's face and like ran away kind of from home. Anyway, his family, his home life is not the best in this assassin household.
And basically they sent him to be like, bring him home. He's being a little asshole. This and that.
Yeah. And his brother's name is Alumi. So it's not actually Get a Cracker or whatever. I'm probably saying that wrong because that sounds weird. Get the cracker.
Get a cracker, Doug.
So I can say Alumi a little easier. So yeah, and he kind of he's very like manipulative, and up until this point you've kind of seen Killua be a very like confident like kid, you know, he's just like whatever, he's like, I'm a cool guy, I can skateboard. I don't think I have any pictures of him skateboarding, but
I'm a cool guy.
Yeah, he's just the cool guy. But then when his brother's like talking to him, he like suddenly is like shutting down, and he's like, oh, I'm scared now, and he's like, you need to come home, and like, how dare you like disobey, blah blah blah. And I don't know if it's at this point, but he's basically like, you don't have friends. Doesn't he like say that at this point? He's like, no one could ever love you. Like,
yeah, pretty much. Trying anything to get him back. All you have is your family. No one cares about you, basically.
Yeah. Because up until this point, you know, Killua was kind of like, oh, I'm like enjoying, like, you know, I'm connecting with people and not just killing people. And, you know, he's like, wow.
Wow.
So he's kind of like, you know, stop it or whatever. And then I think Alumi is like, oh, I'm stepping out now because he doesn't need a license or anything. You know, he's like, my deed is done. And then right after that, Killua actually kills some random guy. So then he gets like disqualified because he was like, I am just a monster. Man. And he like kills this random old guy that didn't really deserve it, but whatever.
Yeah.
So that's that picture. He's getting killed, Raptor. But yeah, and then Gon wakes up and hears all about this. And then when he wakes up, the one of the examiner, that's what they're called, examiners, that are like working for the exam, they're like, here's your card, you made it, yay, you're a hunter now, blah blah blah. And I don't remember how exactly, but Leorio and Kurapika also make it through. I think Kurapika has to fight Hisoka, but something happened. Oh, he's like, I know something about your family, the people who killed your family, I know something about them. So like at a later date, we will figure this out, but I know I have information for you, basically. So Kendra, what questions do you have at this point? Because I feel like I'm, even for somebody who knows how this is, it's probably confused.
This is your opportunity.
I'm just rolling with it.
You'll just have to, I'm keeping it vague enough so when you like watch it, you'll be surprised.
Oh yeah, because I'm gonna watch it like right away.
Good.
Wow.
I'm not taking any sarcasm.
Yeah.
Hey, you don't know. Maybe I'll watch it tomorrow.
So one thing, I might have to go back and rewatch this, and if we're like way off base, we can cut this out. But what do they just give Gon a license because he didn't give up? Why does he get one?
Because so I think this also might be wrong, but I feel like they're like because Killua got disqualified, he like somehow makes it in or something like that. Like
Oh, like they had a set number that they were prepared to.
Maybe.
Okay.
I feel like it's because Killua like killed someone and got booted out, that like made it so everyone that
opened a spot.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah, I probably.
And then the other part I don't remember is Kurapika and Hisoka's fight, because I remember them talking like that, but I don't remember like, did one of them just like walk out or did they actually fight?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is Hisoka that walks out. So that's why I'm kind of like,
okay, that's what I remember.
Yeah, because he's like, oh, yeah, he's, you know, the way he talks is little. So that's why
he doesn't really care about being a hunter as much.
Yeah, but I think he gets his license too. I think everyone in the final round except for Killua becomes a hunter somehow. But yeah, probably should have looked into that more. But
minor details.
But yeah. So everyone else makes it except for him. And I mean, I don't know if Illumi really, counts either. I mean,
yeah,
as an assassin, it's not like he really needs it, but whatever. But yeah, so that's kind of the end of the first arc, the like hunter exam arc. And that's kind of why it's called Hunter x Hunter, because he wants to become a hunter of a hunter because his dad is a hunter.
Yeah.
All right.
Which was the main driving thing for him to be a hunter. He's like, well, my dad's one. I want to find him. This is how I'm going to find him.
So I was also going to talk shortly on kind of like tropes in anime. And again, Kendra, I know you haven't like seen a ton of anime, so
why is everyone always calling me out? Jesus H. Christ.
That's part of this podcast is we're educating.
I'm
right?
not calling you out just because I mean, if it was just me and you, I wouldn't say Kendra. I just talk to you directly.
Yeah, sure. Sure.
But I feel like each of the main four characters kind of have, when you first watch it, you kind of have a idea of how they will be in a way. So you're kind of like, Gon is like, oh, he's just like the perfect little like main character, basically. Like he is super happy all the time. He gets along with everybody. He's like really good at everything. And then like later, like way later down the line, you kind of learn he's like more of a morally gray character, which I kind of think is cool. Like he's not so perfect and he does kind of go off the rails a little bit. And then like with Killua, you kind of think, again, going back to Naruto, you think there's going to be a kind of like a rivalry, like they're not going to be really good friends. Like something's going to happen between him and Gon, like that they're going to like hate each other or something. And then that doesn't really happen. Like he's actually like a really good guy, even though he's like an assassin. And then like Leorio, you kind of think he's going to be like really like money hungry kind of, because he like if you like watch it, you kind of get that sense because he's like, it's all about the money. And like he says all that. But then he reveals that he wants to like actually help people. So and then like Kurapika, you're kind of like, I don't know what I really expected with him. He gets kind of like mentally unwell later.
Yeah. He kind of falls off the rails.
Yeah. So he's another character where you're like, oh yeah, he's, trying to seek revenge basically, but for, his family. So you're kind of like, okay. But then he kind of like goes even more off the rails too. Anyway, I thought that's kind of interesting because they're very like one way when you first meet them. And then later you're kind of like, well, they kind of like flipped around. Anyway, showing tropes and whatnot.
Yep. Some character development.
So the end of that arc, so Gon wakes up, Leorio and Kurapika are there. They kind of tell him, okay, Killua is like being brought back home. And Gon's like, well, we have to go get him. Like we have to go and like save him or whatever from his like crazy family. And of course they're like, I mean, they're like a family of assassins. So I don't know if that's like a super good idea. But he's like, I don't care. He's my friend now. We've met for like a whole like couple days. They're like, okay. I have nothing
instantly
else.
Attached.
Yeah, instantly attached. But they all go and they go get him. And when so they're like kind of on their way to get him, and it's kind of like shown that the way that Killua is being like reprimanded is they're like actually like torturing him, but he's kind of just like meh like about it a little bit. But they're like oh, you should go to the next slide because then you'll get to see the family members here. But he's like, you know, chained up to the wall like Game of Thrones style, and they're like whipping him, and you know, like we're
insubordination.
Yeah, how dare you? Because again, before he ran away to the exam, he like splashed his like mom's face. So you can see on the pictures that in the top middle, that's his mom, and she has like band-aids on her face, and she always has that little like cyclops looking thing. I don't know why. I mean, that's kind of a JoJo thing. I feel like it's just like, don't question it. She's a cyborg apparently, but I don't know. So yeah, I'm gonna briefly go over kind of like the family a little bit. So the first guy is his dad. His name is Silva. He has some sweet 80s rocker band hair, like pretty nice. And then his mom is named Kikyo, I think that's her name. Kikyo? Kikyo, like Kikyo. Kikyo. And then the next guy is his grandpa, Zeno, I believe.
Grandpappy.
Flappy grandpa.
Back in my day.
And then we got Illumi, who we kind of already met. And then we got Kaluto, I believe her name is. And I'm not gonna super get into it, but that there's multiple characters in Hunter x Hunter that are kind of like interesting in the gender way, because this character is kind of like presented as female, but I think in the manga they refer as a male. So, but that is called Kaluto, he, him, maybe. I don't remember which way it is. And then the next one is Maluki. That's another brother. And then we got Killua. So we got Silva, Kikyo, Zeno, Illumi, Kaluto, Maluki, and Killua. Zeno warrior princess.
How do you remember all of that?
So you might want to remember some of it because that's why I repeated it.
Pick a couple maybe to remember.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'll try.
Okay. There's a lot of double L's in that. But yeah, so that's kind of the family. And I didn't really mention this, but Killua is kind of like the prodigy of the family. Like, even though he's not the firstborn son, they're kind of like he's kind of the favorite in a way, even though right now he's getting like whipped in the basement or whatever. But you know, Illumi's like the oldest brother, but he's not really like going to, I don't know if they say that he's like, oh, Killua's gonna like, what's he gonna do? It's not like they're royalty or anything.
Yeah, I think he's just kind of the favorite because Silva and Zeno, the dad and granddad, they're obviously like, they're assassins, but they're also kind of like bounty hunters. So people like come to them and be like, you know, kill this person, get a lot of money. And Killua is the one showing like the most natural promise with like, you know, his skills.
Yeah.
So they really want him to like follow in their footsteps, where Illumi is more like shady disguise type thing. And then Maluki, the pudgy guy on the phone, he's all about like tech. So he's like hacking, all weird stuff like that. So
yeah. And I don't remember how many, I think at one point he says he hasn't left his room in like 10 years, that chubby guy. So yeah. So he's really like,
how many?
Like 10 years.
Oh, right.
Yeah, because he's, I mean, I know that's just a picture, but he's like a big dude or whatever, but he literally just like, he's very much portrayed as like a really creepy, like he just sits at his computer and like he'll make like little honing things to like assassinate people because, you know, he's still an assassin, but he doesn't like leave his room, or maybe it's like leave the house in 10 years anyway, because he doesn't feel like he needs to, I guess. But so basically we got the, you know, Gon, Leorio, and Kurapika, they're going to save Killua. And when they get there, if you want to go to the next slide, here are some butler characters that are at the assassin family household. And I don't think I said this, but their last name is Zoldyck. So that's the Zoldyck family, whatever. But yeah, so they kind of have to, this kind of reminds me a little bit of the Hunter exam again, because they kind of have to like go through like a bunch of different butlers. So the first guy, he's like at the gate and he's like, oh, you can get through the gate, but you have to, they're like so many tons like to push or whatever. So he's like, you're gonna have to train for days to like push open the gates. But it's kind of like this air of all of the butlers like kind of want them to succeed a little bit, because they're like, oh, we're kill you as friends. And they're all kind of like, oh, like the master has friends, or I don't know if they call them that, but they're like, he has friends. I feel like they're kind of like happy for him a little bit. So they kind of want to help them get to him. But they're also like, you know, if we disobey the Zoldyck family, we're not going to have a good time. So they're like, we'll just shadily help them. So the first
I love
guy,
a good shady story.
yeah, a little.
Oh yeah.
They still want to get paid though, you know what I'm saying, and not die. So the first guy with like the bald head, he is at the gates, and then they eventually like make it through. And then the girl, her name is Canary, and she's like at some other like, I don't know, opening. I feel like they like go through a gate and then there's like another, she's like right there, and I'm like, is this fair? I don't know. But yeah, and she just kind of like smacks them around, or smacks Gon around, because again, he's just kind of like, I'm going into it, and if I like get hurt, I don't really care. Like he just kind of sits there and gets like beat by her little like baton for like a really long time, and she's like, why are you like not like, you know, backing down? And it's kind of like the tournament fight again, where he's just like, I don't care, just beat me up. And I'm like, bye.
I don't give up.
Yeah, but I don't remember what happens to her. I feel like she gets like shot in the head or something by like someone in the family, but she like lives. I don't know if you remember that.
I do not recall that actually. I remember the gate because there's like multi-layers. Like there's a small door, like this weighs this amount. If you can push it open, great. But then there's the outer gate. You have to push them all together, and it like there's like 3 tiers or something. And then I remember the last butler that you're going to get into, but I really don't recall hers that much.
Yeah. She seems, I don't know if they say she's like a newer hire, but she seems like she is the most empathetic, I guess, because she's the most kind of wanting to let them by, but she's like, I really shouldn't, because I know I'll like get in trouble. And I think she's kind of starting to waver, and yeah, I can like see the like part where she gets shot and you think she's gonna die, but she like lives. But they're basically like, oh, we know she's gonna like let them by, so we need to like get her. I don't remember who shoots her though. Anyway, so it's
probably the mom with her crazy cyclops eye.
Probably. She's like, yeah, because I feel like the mom and the Kaluto sibling are like in the garden, but I don't know. It's been like a year since I watched it. But yeah, so they get through, and at this point, you know, all the butlers are kind of like talking, like there's like these people on the grounds, and they are like, you know, and they make it to the butlers, like the main butler chambers or whatever. And then we got the last butler guy. His name is Goto, I think.
He's the head butler.
Yeah, he's like the head butler guy, and he is kind of like his thing is he has like coins, and he kind of is like, oh, like he wants to kind of gamble with them to see if they can like make it past. But again, I don't like fully remember, but basically I think he like flips a coin and then he hides it, and he's like, oh, heads or tails kind of situation. But it's like,
if I remember right, I think there's like 2 other butlers in the room with him, and he like does all this hand trickery with this coin, and he's basically like, he moves super fast, he's juggling this coin around. He's like, basically, if you can follow this with your eye and tell me where it ends up, I'll let you through. And then he pulls some trickery, and he doesn't even have it anymore. One of the butlers behind him has it, and then Gon is able to see that and call it out. And he's like, oh, okay, you got me.
Yep. So they outwit him, and then I think they just open a door, and then Killia's right there, and he's like, hey, because I think when he's like in the torture chamber or whatever, and someone like says like, oh, there are people here trying to get to you, and then he just like breaks the chains, and he's like, okay, well, I'm leaving then. And I'm like, what?
I do remember that specifically, because his body's basically trained so high, because he's been through all this crazy stuff as a kid, that, like she said, he doesn't really care that he's getting like whipped and punished. He doesn't really feel anything. He's just kind of chilling. But yeah, as soon as they're like, there's some kid here for you, he's like, oh, really? And he just like snaps out of his chains. He's like, okay, I'm going to go see him now. It's like, I could have got out of this anytime, but now I feel like it.
Yeah. Because I feel like it's more of his older brother being like, you know, you're only good for killing, so that's why you should like go home. So he's like, oh, maybe so. But then when he's like, oh, my friends actually care about me, okay, I'm going to leave now then. And he does kind of have a talk with his dad, and I mean, his dad is kind of more on his side than like the mom is kind of more the antagonist of this like family of antagonists kind of thing. Like she's more like, you need to grow up a certain way, blah blah blah. but he's kind of the dad is kind of like if you have like loyal friends, you should be loyal to them kind of thing. So he like kind of lets him go or whatever. So yeah, so then he gets to leave, and then that's kind of the end of that arc. Again, it's kind of like pretty short. I think it's only maybe like 10 episodes, if that, maybe shorter. I feel like the the arc amounts are so like sporadic.
Yeah, they have different arcs by title, but as far as content, they're like either big or they're like really small.
Yeah, because I think I don't know if it's I mean, there's an arc later that is literally like half the series, and that's the lovely ant arc that everybody loves.
Yeah,
no.
Look forward to that in the future.
Yeah, hopefully I'll have my note taking down because you'll need it for that one.
Yeah, Kendra is gonna need a big cup of coffee before we do that one in the future.
Yeah,
I had coffee for this one.
I'll have
and we'll see if it pays off.
Figure out the green screen, so behind me it'll have like a huge map of like everything that like happens in that.
As you can see over my
yeah, it'll be like a Weather Channel thing.
Yeah,
Scott needs a green screen.
Yeah, I'm slacking.
Yeah. So, and then kind of I'm like barely gonna like get into this next arc. But basically the next arc, and you can like go to the next slide, is called the Heavens Arena arc. And this kind of serves as the purpose of so they got Killua, and now they're all kind of like, okay, we're all gonna kind of go our separate ways for now. The main four guys. But Killua is kind of like, you know, obviously I don't want to go home because I was just saying a little crazy. So he's like, Gon, what do you want to do? And Gon's like, I want to keep, you know, looking for my dad. And so they're like, well, we need some like money because we're just like two little 12-year-olds or whatever. So Killua is like, oh, when I was like 6 years old, I went to this really intense training tower where you can like do a bunch of tournaments and get money and stuff like that. And of course he did it when he was like a baby or whatever. So because he's like, I'm an assassin, I'm crazy. So he's like, we should go there and then get money so then we can like continue on our journey or whatever. So when they go there though, they find out that they're kind of even though they, you know, well, Gon has a hunter license, Killua does not, but they can still go to this tower or whatever. And when they go there, they find Hisoka. They see Hisoka again. And I mean, I haven't talked about it, but every time you see him, there's like this music track that plays. It's like
it's almost like little mariachi music.
Yeah,
with little
like
cymbals.
it's like so you're like when me and Dakota watched this for the first time, like as soon as that like those beats hit, you're like, oh, Hisoka's coming. It's gonna be some
it's
crazy.
coming.
But yeah, so they run into Hisoka and he kind of tells them about I'm not gonna get into this because I still don't really know about it, but Nen, which is a whole, if we ever talk about Hunter x Hunter again, maybe I'll talk about it then, but Nen is very confusing to me, even though I've seen the show like 4 times. But it's kind of like a power thing or whatever, but basically he's like it's kind of like a power, like in the picture you can kind of see he's like making a little shape with his Nen. It's kind of like a power energy that you fight with basically. And like Hisoka specifically has like a bungee gum thing, so which is like kind of a meme, but he's like, it's like this stretchy stuff that no one can, if you don't know about Nen, you can't see it, but that's kind of what he uses to like attack with or whatever. Because up until this point, you know, he's like, oh, Hisoka the magician, so that's kind of like it's kind of alluded that he uses his Nen for these kind of tricks, I guess, but he's also like a sneaky boy. But yeah. And then there's kind of these side characters, Wing and Zushi. Wing is the guy with the glasses and Zushi is the little kid. And they kind of take Gon and Killua under their wing to kind of like teach them about Nen, because they're like, oh, you guys don't really know what you're doing, huh? Like, you know, but let's teach you guys.
Yeah, it's like Gon and Killua get here and they're like, oh, this is gonna be easy. This is just fighting. But then they start seeing matches and they're like, what's going on here? Like they can't quite figure out what's going on. And then they're like, yeah, you're good at fighting, but you have no idea what this power is. And then that's why they need to get taught by this dude and this kid, because once they can harness this, they can actually, you know, kind of level up in their abilities and let them do more as hunters. Well, one hunter.
Yar. So, and even though there's kind of more to the Heavens Arena, I guess I'm not gonna like go super into it, because I mean basically it's just kind of like a training arc, and at one point Gon does like fight Hisoka, and I think it was the thing where it was like, if you can land a punch on me, because he does like manage to punch Hisoka using his like nen, and I think I wrote down there's different like types of nen users, but again, like I still don't really like understand it, but you can be a conjurer, manipulator, emitter, transmuter, enhancer, or like a specializer, specialist, yeah. And I'm not going to ask you about those ones, so I'll just let you know, because I had to write them down and I still had to read them. So but yeah, so it's just kind of like how you use your energy or whatever. I wrote down that Hisoka is a transmuter, so it's like I don't know. It's like something that is like kind of connected to you or something like that. Because they find out later that Killy was also a transmuter, because he's like a lightning guy, so he just uses like lightning. So I think that's clever.
Yeah. It seems like those are almost like outside elements that you can control, and then like, because Gon's an enhancer, right?
Yeah.
So Gon can like modify the power of his own body. He can enhance his own abilities with it directly. So I think that's kind of how it's labeled.
But yeah, I mean, basically you get to kind of choose your own, like you don't get to choose like what kind of nen user you are, but then you can kind of like tailor something to like for yourself, like, you know, because I think there's a scene where like Killua takes a what's it called, like a taser gun thing, and like puts it on his arm, and then he's like, or maybe that's later, but he's like, because he's been kind of like tortured and stuff, he's like, oh, I can like handle the electricity like going through me, so that's why he's like, I'm choosing to do it like this. But yeah, so I don't know. I feel like if there was any kind of quiz where it was like, this person's power is this, what kind of like thing is it, I would be like, I have no idea, because that's like too confusing.
Yeah, might need some additional research to be able to do something like that.
But I mean, I've watched it so many times without really like worrying about it. I'm just like, if you can just remember each person's kind of thing they do, then I feel like you're fine. But yeah, so that's kind of I mean, I don't know if there's any other like super important things that happen in the arena arc. But yeah, anyway, kind of like a training arc.
Yeah, they're just basically training up for future fights and learning this new power is really the whole point of that.
Making money.
All right.
So how you feel about all that, Kendra?
I'm just really confused about the whole concept, I think.
Kendra gets hung up on some things really early, and I feel like this is one of those.
Yeah, because it just doesn't make sense to me that you would do some sort of weird competition like this to be something like a doctor.
And with the doctor thing, it's because he doesn't have.
But again, he was doing it so he could pay for his medical school.
Yeah,
I know, but I don't
money.
know. I just don't know.
He came from a very poor upbringing.
It's basically like a more risky level of college. Look at it like that. Because if you didn't go to college, you couldn't get your degree. You couldn't necessarily do what you wanted to do.
I mean, yeah.
And sure. I don't know. I kind of have a feeling that if Leorio didn't run into the other main characters, he would not make it. Because I mean, it is they have helped him along a lot. He's very much a normal guy. You know, like Gon is kind of like, I'm just magically good at a lot of things. And then Killy was a little assassin. I don't know. I forgot how to talk. And then Kurapika, I mean, he's like knows how to fight too, but like Leorio doesn't know how to fight. He doesn't know how to do anything. But they kind of help.
And the whole time he's like really burnt out, like during the run, and he's like, oh my god, and like you just stuff like that. He's like the more normal person, and these kids are like, yeah, I've got energy for days, you know.
Yeah.
I am never gonna give you up, stuck in my head.
Ruh-roh.
Is that why we're bobbing?
Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. That probably doesn't sound good. I just grabbed it. No, I just like grabbed the microphone very aggressively.
Getting into it.
I was trying to be like him, where he's all like,
Is he the only one that does that?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's only Rick Astley.
So at that point, that's probably a good enough spot to maybe put a pause on it. Well,
because I don't have notes.
Collaborate and listen.
And no more notes. And so Jackie's got a quiz for us. But basically, if people like the Hunter x Hunter, I enjoyed it a lot, we'll get a part
Write
2
in,
and
let
maybe
us
get
know.
into some more stuff. Yeah.
I'll write in myself my own email, and then
There you
I'll
go.
also attach that Stacy's dad video. I'll just send that to your guys'
For your-
email every week.
Before you think about it, consider this.
Okay, so first question. I guess
Alright.
if you know it, just blurt it out.
Okay.
Okay. The what does the author of Hunter x Hunter's wife write?
Sailor Moon.
Good job, Kendra.
Yay,
Yay.
Kendra.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. What other famous anime character was inspired by Kurapika's tragic
Sasuke.
backstory? Oh, wow!
Oh, wow. She's on it. Look at
Dang.
that.
All right, this one might hang you up.
It's gonna go downhill from here.
Yeah. Name at least 3. That might be Scott will help you. Name at least 3 members of the Zoldyck family.
Zeno.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
One starts with an S. Silva.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice.
Let me go back and look at the pictures and see if that sparks some memory. Okay. That's the mom, Cyclops lady. 2 of them start with M's.
Just one.
Just the fat guy?
Yeah.
Oh, this guy's name is like Kiko Man.
No.
Nope.
That's close to a name, but it's not.
Oh, that's a different white-haired guy?
Yeah. Well, no.
There's
let me know if you need me to step in. I'll get you one more at least.
what's the name of the most famous one? The one that's Gun's friend.
The long-haired one?
No.
No, the white-haired one.
Yeah.
His name's not
well.
Kilko Man or whatever?
No. Kilko Man. No.
Yes, my favorite Hunter x Hunter character, Kilko Man.
Does it
like
start with a
asking,
K?
Yeah.
It does start with a K.
Kiki.
No.
Kiki something.
What
happens
when you unalive somebody?
Dead?
Exactly.
when you
now
do,
after
do
that,
it to somebody. I
Kill?
don't know. Yeah.
Oh, Killman.
No.
Kill a man.
Maybe you should go to someone else.
Kill a man. Kill a man's old dick.
I don't know. I need to phone
Kill
a
a man's
friend.
old dick.
Okay, so the mom is who you were kind of confusing is Kikyo.
Mhm.
Oh, I knew there was a Kiki somewhere.
You got the dad and the grandpa,
Right.
and then brother Illumi,
Mhm.
Oh.
brother / maybe sister
Mhm.
Kabuto,
Kaluto, I think, right?
Kaluto, yeah, and then Maluki,
Mm-hmm.
But what's the last guy's name?
Killua.
Killua.
Trying to help you with that
Killua.
one.
I'm gonna kill you. You know what
That's
I'm saying?
probably like the single most name she said of any of these characters,
Yeah.
and you can remember
In a while. I did pretty good with the Digimon ones, and that was a long time ago.
That's true.
So
I
this
don't remember
isn't
them now, but that's okay.
this isn't on my quiz thing, but can you name the main 4 characters? We just said one, so I hope you can name
Let's
him.
go. Let's
Kill
go.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the main guy's name?
We're having a real Goku situation here.
Leorio.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is the main guy's name though?
Like the most simple name in the whole thing.
Gon.
Yeah.
Yay.
But I don't know the other guy's name.
Yeah.
The blonde-haired one.
I didn't really think you would. His name is Kurapika.
Oh yeah, because like Pika.
That's what you can
Yeah.
remember to get you through. I feel like this one's pretty easy. What does Leorio want his license for? I feel like we talked about that one a lot.
Is he the one that wants to be a doctor?
Yeah.
Okay, that was a
There you
wild
go.
guess.
Yeah. And then my last
The one
question.
you're real hung up on.
My last question is, how long has the manga been on hiatus?
3 years.
Yes. I think it was 3
Wow.
years since November, so it's been over 3 years at this point. Well, by like a
3
month.
years and 1 month.
Yeah.
There you go.
Pretty crazy.
Well, you did pretty good, Kendra. Not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
good job.
because I was really having a hard time. I got really hung up on the point of the thing, and it was really hard
Yeah,
to
you did.
retain any information.
Yeah, that was like the first 5 minutes.
I
So
know.
Yeah.
And that was like a side character that I like barely talked about. And I'm like,
Uh,
this is why you have to watch
Oh,
it, so
yeah.
it'll make more sense.
yeah.
it's true. Yeah, it'll make a lot more sense if you actually watch it.
Just when is
'Cause-
their time, you know?
Yeah, I mean, because everything Jackie went through, what are we talking like? That's probably like 30, 40 episodes. How many have we been through?
Yeah, maybe I mean, I don't know how long the Heavens Arena is. Yeah, at least I would say like maybe 50. No, because the whole thing is like 100 episodes ish. Yeah.
So she compressed a lot of information for you there.
Compress it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Well, I think we did a pretty thorough job. Kendra kind of knows Hunter x Hunter now.
Heck yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we're at a point where we'll have our guest. Do you have anything to plug this week?
Yes.
Yeah, tell the fine folks where to find you.
Okay, well, I'll plug my Instagram account and then also a couple of my friends' Instagram accounts. So my Instagram is Jacki Linja, JACKILINJA. I do a lot of like fan art of like anime and also like drag queens. Those are kind of my two main things. But I also wanted to give a shout out to my friend Ashley, and her username is Goshly, like the paint Gosh. Her name's Ashley, so it's very clever, but I always say it wrong in my head.
I always wondered what that meant.
But yeah, she's one of my good friends. We both watched part 6 of JoJo this weekend and kind of were texting each other about it, and she's an awesome artist. So definitely give her a follow. And then I was gonna also plug my friend Andy the Lemon on Instagram, and it's Andy the Lemon. She is also a big Hunter x Hunter fan, and she let me work on a Haikyuu zine recently. What the heck is that? Oh, it's a lemon.
It's a lemon.
Yeah, I'm getting lost.
There it is. There you go.
Yeah, but definitely check out her work too, because she does a lot of awesome projects and stuff. But yeah, some art.
All right.
Places.
We got Lemmy up in here.
Very good. What do you got this week, Kendra?
I'm gonna plug us.
Oh.
Yeah. So if you don't have anything to plug, I'll just plug us.
Do it.
All right. So if you like what you heard here, you can subscribe and download everywhere you get your podcast. YouTube, download the episode. So very important. You can send us an email to 5FIVE more minutes pod @gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook. That's everything at 5 MMPOD. And I went out of order again, but you can share us with your friends and family, your friends who are your family, and your family who are more like friends and family. And I did it right this time.
Wow.
Good job.
And I think that's pretty much it.
That's pretty much
sometimes
it.
we're probably going to be bad at posting this weekend, but
yeah,
we're here,
Christmas.
we're alive, you know.
Yeah.
We're hanging out with Santa Claus.
Yep. One final thank you to Jacki for joining us today.
Yeah.
First official guest.
And she saved me from having to last minute prepare.
That's true. You saved Kendra from making an episode.
Well, I have a newfound respect for you guys because I thought this was going to be a lot easier, and I definitely struggled. So if you made it this far, listener, who will probably be me listening,
and Merle.
I'm not going to listen to it with Merle. I don't think I can listen to myself with someone else in the room. It's going to be weird.
Yeah.
Because I'll definitely be very self-aware of all the
trust me,
everything.
I have to edit it.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah. And when I do captions, if it's like a very dramatic it's like, yeah, I have to put that.
Yeah, sometimes I don't always edit them out of the video because it's too hard.
Yeah. That's just on me. I should have been better at public speaking.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
it's
I
raw.
teach and I still do it. So
yeah,
it's
normal.
Yeah,
but
we did it a lot less when we were in person, though.
That's true, and I think part of it is over Zoom. It's the timing is not 100%, so you almost want to fill. You're like trying not to step on the other person, so you like give yourself an extra just in case you're not finished. So we were a lot better when we did it in person for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, if that's it, I guess we'll be clocking out till next time.
Tapping out.
Merry Christmas.
Yay, Merry Christmas.
And all that.
Happy holidays.
And we'll catch you right before the new year.
On the flippity flip.
Yeah. On the New Year's Eve.
Yeah, as Kendra would like to say, the 23rd of Christmas, and we'll catch you on the flip side of the dark side of the moon or something like that.
That is what I
All right. Till next time.
All right. Bye.
See you.